Warning, what you're about to see is incredibly rare. This is New York Yankees pitcher Tommy Kahnle throwing a slider. It misses terribly, but that's not why it's noteworthy. Kahnle will pitch in 9 playoff games in 2024 for the Yankees. This is the only time he'll throw the slider. 143 pitches thrown in the playoffs, 1 slider. It's rare in 2024 for a right-handed relief pitcher to exist, let alone thrive, by throwing 1 breaking ball in 9 games. Usually good righty relievers depend on a combo of having a really good fastball and a really good slider. Now, here's what's even weirder. Kahnle also went 61 straight pitches this postseason without throwing 1 fastball. No fastballs and no sliders for 13 days on the calendar. Well, it was 1 pitch, so what strategy could work for throwing 1 pitch 61 times in a row if it's not either of those? That's next level unusual in 2024's MLB, and it probably has you thinking right away something along these lines. If he didn't throw any fastballs or sliders, what did he throw? Well, Tommy Kahnle is known for 2 things: his cartoonishly tight pants that never cease to amaze, and his changeup. It's easy to see why. Only 1 pitcher threw their changeup more than 54% of the time in 2024. The same pitcher was also the only one to do it 60% or 70%, until he decided to try for 100% in the sample of a few of the most important games of his career. That's just the tip of the iceberg for how we're going to go over how this changeup defied every ounce of logic and statistical probability possible, right after a word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by OddsJam. Looking to up your game in sports betting? Meet OddsJam, your ultimate ally in the world of data-driven wagering. With over 260 sportsbooks under its belt, OddsJam is the go-to platform for savvy bettors. Here's how it works. OddsJam's arbitrage tool scans the market in real time, spotting differences in betting lines across various sportsbooks. This means you can lock in risk-free profits by betting on both sides of the market. But that's not all. OddsJam also provides a positive EV calculator to optimize your bets and a handy bet tracker to monitor your profits. By using OddsJam, you're not just betting smarter, you're betting responsibly for long-term profitability. And here's the kicker. They offer a 7-day free trial. Ready to give it a shot? Use code SRS for a 35% discount on your first payment, either month or year. Secure your bets with confidence. Make informed decisions with OddsJam. Thank you, OddsJam, for sponsoring this video. Back to the action. Tommy Kahnle's last fastball before the 61 straight changeups was thrown on a 1-0 count in the top of the 8th inning in Game 2 of the ALCS. The hitter singled to left field. Now, a changeup exists to do exactly what it sounds like. Change up the speeds the hitter sees. A changeup works best when a hitter is expecting a fastball and thinks they see a fastball coming out of the pitcher's hands, only for it to abruptly slow down and dive below the strike zone and out of the hitter's swing path. Realistically, if you throw 61 changeups in a row, what speed are you changing up? I'm not going to show you all of the 61 changeups in a row. I have more respect for your time than that. But you do deserve to know how he did, using this strategy of only throwing 1 kind of pitch for almost 2 weeks of real-time action on the calendar, so here goes. He ended his night in Game 2 without giving up any runs. In Game 3, he easily worked through the 2 best hitters in the Cleveland lineup to start his night and allowed no runs in an inning and 2/3 pitched. He might have allowed no hits either if Anthony Rizzo could have fielded a ground ball basically right to him, but for now, Kahnle has earned 6 outs without giving up a run, all on changeups. In Game 4, he throws a scoreless bottom of the 9th to pick up a save. Strikeout, walk, single, fly out, ground out. He doesn't pitch for a week after this. Yankees advancing to the World Series and getting a little break after all. He starts his night in Game 1 of the World Series by getting 2 ground outs before the best all-around player in baseball sits back, waits on the changeup, and smokes one off the wall, ending Kahnle's night. Coming back out there in Game 3, he gets a strikeout on 4 pitches. What do you know? All changeups before...
There it is. Wow! 61.
A fastball. The announcers are shocked.
Wow!
It's the first fastball in what feels like forever. And it's not like he wasn't throwing fastballs because he's got a noodle arm. 96 miles an hour on the first one in a while, which I bet you can't do that. And if you can, please send me a DM so I can kiss you. I don't know. He gets that batter out still, and the next one. The streak is over, but his effectiveness wasn't just yet. From Game 2 of the ALCS, when the changeup streak started through its ending game in Game 3 of the World Series, Kahnle's results were awesome.
Let's go, baby! Yeah!
He didn't allow any runs. In 5 2/3 innings, he gave up just 4 hits, with under 20% of the at-bats against him resulting in a hit. He did walk 4 batters too, but that seemed to be okay with both the hitter and the pitcher in most of those spots to avoid serious damage on contact. But that was the thing. There wasn't much good contact. Part of why Tommy was able to survive this streak without giving up any earned runs was that there were only 3 hard-hit balls the entire time. The last 2 outs of his series in Cleveland, which obviously didn't hurt him because they were both outs, and the Shohei Ohtani double, which, no hard feelings, he does that to everybody. Kahnle's changeup was a weak contact machine. That's part of why it's such a good pitch. It's been above average every year since 2017. No, like really, every year. Kahnle makes his money off that changeup, if you couldn't already figure it out. So come playoff time, the strategy seemed to just be, if they're gonna beat me, it's gonna be on my best pitch. And in that sample of games, he really leaned on it in a way he never had. And people were stunned by it. Former teammate and fellow pitcher Adam Ottavino watched this streak go on and said he doesn't even think he's thrown 7 fastballs in a row, let alone 7 of a secondary pitch. As if drinking 5 or 6 Red Bulls and 2 cups of coffee per day earlier in his career didn't show us that Tommy doesn't exactly do things the way most other people do. Listen, man, I love unhealthy, non-alcoholic drinks more than the average guy. My fridge has Baja Blast or Starbucks refreshers in it practically all the time, but this guy's wired different than pretty much any of us.
This guy's crazy!
Also, as if you couldn't tell already, Tommy's changeup isn't your grandma's secondary pitch. So I called up one of the best advanced pitching explainers in the world to break down why Tommy Kahnle in particular can throw 61 straight changeups. What makes that pitch work? His name is Lance Brozdowski, and he does analytics for the Chicago Cubs TV network and has a great YouTube channel.
Tommy Kahnle has one of the best changeups in baseball, and pitch models agree. Now, I'll admit, pitch modeling doesn't do the best job with changeups because it doesn't really consider things like arm speed and deception and location, which I think are really important for changeups. But the thing it hones in on is important to point out. What is the relationship between the changeup and that pitcher's fastball? And it focuses on 2 variables primarily: the velocity difference between the fastball and changeup and the vertical break separation. So how much more is that changeup dropping? The average right-handed changeup is separated by about 9 miles per hour and 11 inches of drop. Drops 11 inches more than the pitcher's fastball. Models generally think the best changeups are the ones that are harder, so they have a smaller velocity gap to the fastball, but they drop a lot more relative to that fastball. And this is what Kahnle nails. His fastball is only separated by 7 inches in velo, and it's separated by 14 inches in terms of vertical break. So this is why this pitch is so good. But how he was able to throw this thing 56 times in a row and still have success is baffling to me. A lot of the times in this nerd space over here, we're looking at pitch familiarity. So the more you see a pitch, the better you're going to get against it. But for some reason, this just didn't apply in the postseason to Tommy Kahnle. So it's a really impressive feat. I love this pitch, and the data backs up why it's so good.
So Kahnle was simply using his best weapon over and over and over again because it was something only he could use to his advantage for success. Think of it like if you had the M1911 and the Thunder Gun and you just chose to sneak in some M1911 shots once in a while. Also, pretend the Thunder Gun has infinite ammo for this. Tommy Kahnle's changeup is the Thunder Gun here. You get it. Why would you use anything else? But that still doesn't add up for why hitters still couldn't time it up, seeing it over and over and over and over and say over for 61 times. In the 2024 regular season, Kahnle threw his changeup 73% of the time, which is way, way, way above average. You know that already. And if this sounds unusual, it absolutely is, but so is Kahnle's changeup to begin with. You would think that each hitter would figure out the pattern of what's going on and adjust accordingly, but it seems they never really did, or at least they couldn't do it consistently enough to beat him. No matter how good a pitch is, big league hitters are smart too. Conventional wisdom says that even a pitch as tailor-made for success as Tommy Kahnle's changeup won't work that much in a row. However, it seemed like the opposite was true. The more Kahnle was throwing his changeup, the better he was doing. Hitters may still have been waiting back for a fastball because they were thinking there's no way he could just keep throwing all changeups, right? And they still, almost all, rolled over early if they took a swing. The hitters thought it didn't make sense. And you want to know who else didn't think it made sense? Tommy Kahnle. He described the streak as too many changeups in a row, even though it was A, working, and B, something that made sense for him, and maybe only him. I felt like I was missing something, either how to explain it or understand it. I couldn't really figure it out. So I spoke to another pitching analyst, Isaac Groffman, on Twitter. You should totally go read his work. And the goal was to find the best way to articulate just how unlikely it was from a hitter's perspective to see 61 straight changeups from Kahnle, and that, in and of itself, could have been the great strategy. The probability of Kahnle, who used his changeup 73% of the time in the regular season, to throw it 61 times is basically zero. That is a really small number. A changeup exists to throw hitters off. They're expecting one thing, they're fooled by what actually happens. In a way, this might have been a bigger changeup than a literal changeup. Pitchers threw changeups about 12% of the time in 2024 across all of MLB. So the likelihood of opponents seeing that many changeups in a row from the same pitcher is actually even lower than just Kahnle himself doing it. If it was difficult for hitters to make that adjustment, understand how improbable what Kahnle was doing was. And that's kind of awesome, the more you think about it. It makes for such a weird baseball oddity that has to be preserved and seen to be believed. The Yankees still lost the World Series this year, and Kahnle pitched poorly in his final outing of the series. The only time all postseason he gave up any earned runs. After this game ended, Kahnle's contract with the Yankees expired. He seems to be under the impression that that's it for him in New York, saying in a Discord message to his fans that this wasn't how he intended for his Yankee career to end. Say what you want about the last days of Tommy Kahnle, the New York Yankee, they should go down as one of baseball's most unforgettably, lovably weird stories. I will say that I believe him if he was talking about throwing 61 changeups as part of the end of the ride. Hard to see that one coming. But if nothing else, it should provide a great memory for Yankee fans to smile and laugh about, just on the back of how insane it sounds. And it was working.